All right, welcome into the next edition of the Vegas Squares podcast. This is our Picks and Chatter podcast, the NFL edition. However, today's edition will be with a little bit of a twist. I am sitting in studio with Spike and with Token Tony. We are back to give you our picks. What we do every weekend here on 12 Ounce Sports Radio and also on the Vegas Squares website. You ask what this twist is because every week we seem to just make the picks and you guys tail us or fade us because that choice is yours. We give that to you.
Sounds like your announcement was how this podcast is going to go.
Yeah. I was drooling about 15 minutes ago, and now I'm drooling over betting some Sunday NFL football. But we are going to name this podcast, as Token Tony so appropriately coined it, The Three Blind Mice. And I know that you're probably puzzled, as you are when you listen to every show. However, this reason is that you are puzzled because as of 11/17, Saturday night, November 3rd, we have all not looked at a single NFL line, nor have done any NFL research.
Hey,
this
professionalism! All right, hey.
I've looked at
Insert
lines.
kazoo here.
I've looked at lines, but I haven't done research for them.
Well, you've done a fuck ton more than the two of us.
All right,
haven't
listen,
done.
and to be fair, in every other week when I have done research, I've done
It has not
shit.
worked for you,
and
yes.
even on the week where I did research and tailed myself, I didn't do all that
Or
well.
faded yourself, yeah.
I figured going in blind was actually a strategy that was going to work for me this week, and then you copied me.
We will. Inadvertently, of course. It's been a busy week for me, I know that, and Mr. sitting in the purple tie over here, I know he's been busy too. I feel like a bookie this week. I got to go around and collect all my Alabama bets.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So, all right, well,
Yeah, good thing I didn't place
put-
one of those for you.
yeah, we put an asterisk on this Picks and Chatter podcast NFL edition because, again, we are the Three Blind Mice in the Vegas Squares podcast on 12 Ounce Sports Radio, where you can catch us every Monday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. 4 times a week, 12 Ounce Sports Radio. We promise we'll do our due diligence next week, but then again, we may not and just tell you we did.
Hey, I won't even be here, so you guys.
Ah, it's true. Cool.
Yeah.
Well, that brings up the collective average of picks next week.
Survey says.
Survey says Spike. All right. Well, if you're not familiar with our Picks and Chatter podcast, we are keeping a season-long tally of every single game, with the exception of the Thursday night games, and we are going head-to-head in a season-long contest for bragging rights and also a little bit of cash on the side. If you're not familiar with our scoring system, Spike is going to remind the listeners.
Yeah, so for every game, every Sunday and Monday game,
As Token opens up chips.
because
Classy.
This is a healthy dinner for a growing boy.
He has sparkling water, a Dunkin' Donuts gas station bottled coffee, and ghost pepper chili chips. That's a recipe for negative points.
Oof, I feel bad for your porcelain. So
I just got that. It took a second.
for every game that happens on a Sunday or Monday, we are picking some part of that game, whether that be against the spread or a money line bet or against the total. You get 1 point if you get it right. You lose a point if you get it wrong. You're also allowed a lock of the week, which is a 3-point win or a 3-point loss. And we are also allowing a blind bet. Blind bet is the game that you have no idea what's going to happen. So you get 2 points if you get it right, 0, or you lose nothing if you get it wrong. Right now, last week, I had 3 points, which was sadly my best week since about week 3. Token got 4 points. Aaron had 10 points for a total thus far. I am sitting at -1. Not great. Token has 23 points. Aaron is in the lead with 26.
Back atop my throne where I deserve. I would like to propose here just quickly as we get to the games. I would like to propose our bold prediction segment. As long as the other two gentlemen agree that your prediction is bold enough, be a 2-point.
Oh.
Be a 2-point bonus as well.
It has to be bold and specific enough.
Well, it has to be agreed upon by the other two players.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Okay.
All right, rock and roll. All right, well, let's, without further ado, with further ado, let's thank the other sponsors, ChaiPoker.com and VGK Pop Sockets. Thank you. And also another quick shout out to 12 Ounce Sports Radio. Okay, let's not waste any more time. Let's dive into the football games because this is our first look at them. All right, rock and roll. Detroit at Minnesota. Detroit coming off of riding high, 3-3, and then they lose to the Seattle Seahawks, which gave me that bonus point, that 14-point bonus point last week. But nevertheless, the line is Minnesota -5. Total right now, 49 points. It does look like Stephon Diggs may not play in this game. So, with all that being said, you know what? We'll start with the Lions fan.
Yeah, this one, I'm actually happy because they've announced Dalvin Cook's more than likely to play. So that I do like that statement. Will he play the whole game? Who knows, but...
I know that they said he was going to be in a limited role.
Yeah.
I mean, according to the injury report, he's probable to go, which is the best news I think Minnesota football fans have seen in a while. However, Latavius Murray has been pretty effective in his absence, I would say.
Yeah, I would say so too. This one, Lions desperately need a win. Whether they win or not, who the fuck knows. I think this game is decided by a field goal at the end. Give me Lions plus the points.
All right. I'm going to look at Lions plus the points, too, in this spot because they are 3-0 against the spread on the road. They do tend to play better away from the Dome with the exception of the Patriots game. Not having Stephon Diggs creates a void for Minnesota, even though they do have Adam Thielen. They kind of bounce off of each other as well, and especially with short and intermediate routes, it's been kind of a Diggs season this year. So with him being doubtful, I'm gonna go ahead and base this on him not playing and take the Lions with the points as well because it is a Dome stadium. They're used to Dome stadiums. They are 3-0 against the spread on the road.
Yeah, and I agree with what you guys are saying, especially about Detroit being better on the road. The problem is the last time that I tailed token as a confident Lions fan, I got fucked. So give me Minnesota minus the 5.
Solid analysis.
When in doubt, fade the token.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm looking at it because Minnesota, I feel like they're playing well. A little bit up and down, but I think at home that they're doing all right. Plus 68% of the sharp money, or the total money is coming in on Minnesota. So I'm going to ride with the public on this one.
Right on, right on. All right, next game on the slate is Kansas City at Cleveland. No real injuries to report. Tyreek Hill probable. That probably means he's going to go. Current line right now is Kansas City -8. Live total 52. You got 7-1. The Kansas City Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes, the definitely probably first half MVP candidate with 20. I think he has 25 or 26 touchdowns at this point. And you have Baker Mayfield, which I know that Spike's not a big college guy, but you may remember this. About 3 years ago, Baker Mayfield and Patrick Mahomes played a game in the Big 12, Texas Tech versus Oklahoma, 66-59.
Yeah.
Last time these two guys squared off, Patrick Mahomes threw for 700 yards, and Baker Mayfield threw for like 620. So I know we're at the NFL level now, but maybe we might see a little aerial attack?
Well, I hope so.
Just a wee bit, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, those games are always fun. I think the difference is that at least
Kansas City doesn't play defense. We know that.
Well, no, Kansas City doesn't play defense, but they actually have weapons for Mahomes to throw to. I don't know that Baker Mayfield has that anymore.
Fair.
So, I don't know. I like what I've seen out of Cleveland. Their defense is fine. They're not going to be able to stop Kansas City. It's just a question of being able to contain them. I just don't think that even as bad as Kansas City's defense is, I don't think Cleveland is going to be able to score enough to keep it close. I'm taking the favorite minus the 8 along with 76% of the public money on this one.
Spike's nickname today will be public money.
Yeah, I think so. That's going to be a big factor in my picks, I think.
Yeah, this one I'm trending towards the under, but that's not going to be my pick. My pick is Kansas City minus the points as well. There's a trend going on. The last 22 games where the spread's 8 or more, the under's the trend. This one I can see.
So he picks Kansas City.
I think Kansas City easily covers the 8. Cleveland could put up a few points. That's what scares me about the total more. Kansas City minus 8 is my pick, though.
Yeah, actually, it was funny you'd mentioned that because I had read the same trends as well, and I was actually on the under, and then you just pointed out everything I was going to say, so I'm taking under 52.
All right. Hey, that saves us some time. We can
Yeah,
just
it
move on
saves
to
me the analysis, but I don't see where Cleveland can score in this spot unless they're able to run the ball, and that's a possibility. But I say under. I think this game is, probably close to the total, but like Kansas City last week, 53.5, they got 53 points. So, all right, big game here in the AFC North that really kind of defines both of these teams' seasons right now. Pittsburgh, if they win, can move into a very comfortable lead in the AFC North after starting out basically below the Browns, which is uncharted territory for them. And then you have Baltimore, who, if they fall to 4-5 and that far behind, Pittsburgh can probably kiss their division hopes goodbye and their very slim playoff contender hopes, which is also my hopes as well for them and my bet with Spike. So we do have Pittsburgh and Baltimore. Again, 4-4 for Baltimore, 4-2-1 for Pittsburgh. Line currently is Baltimore as a home favorite of 2.5 points. The over-under is 47.
Yeah, this line doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know what the odds makers are seeing that would make Baltimore a favorite in this spot.
Well, it did beat Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, but so what? I mean, they
yeah, but so what? Head-to-head matchups are irrelevant.
They've lost their last two, and they've looked pretty poor doing it, especially allowing the Panthers to.
Do you think they looked poor in that Saints game?
Yeah.
Even though they only lost by missing an extra point?
I don't think they look poor.
No,
they did look poor in Panthers game, you're right.
They looked poor in the Panthers game.
As Token got his point.
They looked poor in the game they lost to the Browns. I know that they beat Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh, but I don't know. I don't like what I've been seeing out of the Ravens recently.
Fair.
And I do like what I've been seeing out of Pittsburgh, especially, obviously the big story being Le'Veon Bell not coming back to the team, but James Conner is doing
I thought you were going to say the big story was the Tree of Life Synagogue. So.
If not better. I
didn't know this was where you were going or something.
We can ride. You can ride. I mean,
Pittsburgh strong.
Yeah, those sports.
Everybody's strong nowadays.
The tragedy that comes before a sports team thing, like that's always.
You think that's a tragedy that'll drive them to the Super Bowl?
No, God, no.
Well, I'm just saying, the Houston Hurricane was the Astros thing, the 9/11 for the Patriot. I don't think the Tree of Life Synagogue is going to be driving the Pittsburgh Steelers.
No, that
never know though.
Yeah, that's true.
They might be.
Where's the Super Bowl this year?
Where is it?
Yeah,
I have no idea.
Okay,
Houston,
cool.
Maybe.
Carry on.
I don't know. Anyway, I'm taking Pittsburgh plus the 2.5. I actually think Pittsburgh can win this game outright, but I'll take the plus 2.5 in this one.
Actually, do like Baltimore in this spot, but my pick today for this game is the over 47. I don't think Baltimore's defense can stop Pittsburgh enough, and I think Baltimore puts up a few points themselves. I think Pittsburgh could dominate this game, but Ravens can somehow get a backdoor. 27-24 to the final. Who wins, I don't know.
You say somehow get a backdoor, over?
No, backdoor win, or a backdoor cover.
You like to cover all facets of the bet. I like that.
Yeah.
You don't leave a stone unturned.
Nope. I do like
the
Baltimore,
but
my pick is the over.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, well, I am going to utilize Week 9 with my Baltimore Ravens as my last attempt to back them. And I will take the home favorite, 2.5 points. I think they win by 3-5. Game stays close. They just know how to play divisional opponents, and I understand you're right. Last week they looked abysmal against Carolina. I disagree with you on looking abysmal for 2 weeks because I think they looked pretty good. They should have won that game, and of all people to blow that, Justin Tucker was kind of surprising.
Yeah, that was a shocker.
This will be my last
backing of the Ravens.
Backing of the Ravens if they come out and look flat. It might not be my last backing Ravens of the season if I like the way they play, but if they come out and look flat, this may be my last shot. So I'm taking Baltimore minus 2.5, and I'm taking Joe Falco to win a ball game here and get to 5-4.
Update on the Super Bowl this year is Mercedes-Benz.
I think it's in Atlanta. Yeah.
Okay.
It's in the ATL. Where was it last year? Was it in Houston? No,
Minnesota.
It was in Minnesota. That's right. I know it was in a dome. So, anyways, all right. So Jets and Dolphins next game on the docket here that we see. Current line, Miami minus 2.5 as the home favorite. the line, the total opened up at 45.5, has actually been bet down to 42.5. You got 4-4 Miami, still feeling like they're in the thick of a wild card, potentially in the division. I mean, at 4-4, I believe they're only behind New England. They're 6-2. They're only 2 games behind New England. It's not like they may feel like a mountain to climb, but at the same time, I mean, New England's got to play some tough teams,
including Miami.
Well, including Miami twice. You're right. The road goes right through New England. So you got the Jets 3-5, looking pretty good for a team that does have a rookie quarterback. They are the best. They are the best football team in the NFL that is starting a draft pick this year.
Yeah.
So I know that's not a whole lot to write home about, but at the same time, the last time these two met up, Miami kind of wiped the floor with them, but it was early in the season.
Yeah.
4-4, 3-5, Jets, Dolphins, 2.5.
I'm surprised this line's not even more, though. I mean, the Dolphins.
It was 3.
It was, but I mean, I'm surprised it didn't open up at like 3.5 or 4 or something. Miami, I believe, is the better team. Even at home, no credit in my mind. I think the wild card for this is Darnold, and I think he's still hurt. So
I can tell you who is hurt, and that's Ryan Tannehill. He'll be out this game again. So
I think that helps the Dolphins, though.
I think so. You think they're better without Tannehill?
I believe so.
As long as the Brock Lobster.
Yeah.
As long as
I can't agree with that.
As long as Cutler's not their quarterback.
Cutler did beat the Patriots, I believe, last year, didn't he?
I believe so. Yeah. But.
So that's sometimes the Dolphins' Super Bowl. So
yeah. Give me Miami in this spot.
-2.5.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah. Oh, is that on me?
I can go if you're writing in the picks.
No, I've got my pick already. So I know Miami is 4-4, so that means that they're 1-3 in their last 4 games because they started 3-1.
Yeah, you made your speech and they went to the tank.
Yeah, and
no pun intended.
Like I said, this is a trash team. Actually, this is 2 trash teams. This is a game that's not going to be worth watching, especially if Darnold's hurt, especially if Brock Lobster's starting. I see this game being like a 6-3, 9-6 type game. Fuck it, I'm taking the under 42.
Right on. I do not believe I believe with the week off, Darnold has had the ability to heal. And I am going to take the Jets plus 2.5 points. And if I had a set of stones, I would take the money line, but I don't, because I'm not going to use a money line bet here. So, give me the Jets, give me Darnold, give me Todd Bowles, knows how to play the defense, and I am in disagreement with Token. I think Ryan Tannehill makes way more of a difference than Brock Lobster.
All right, we'll see.
All right, so we got the Chicago Bears, we got the Buffalo Bills. On paper, this feels like a crazy route, but the last time we said the Bills were going to get stomped, which I think is actually every week. Last time we really said on the air, though, the Bills were going to get stomped, they went into Minnesota and did the deed. But we do have a 10.5-point spread, which, correct me if I'm wrong, is the biggest one of the week. And I believe
How would we know? None of us have looked at the line.
We're looking at them now, fucktard!
I'm not looking ahead. I'm just looking at the game in front of me.
I believe that is
It
correct
is the biggest spread of the week.
Oh my
the
God.
Vegas Square's biggest spread of the week. We got Chicago. We got at Buffalo. Buffalo stood pat at the trade deadline. Didn't really do anything. LaShawn McCoy's still in Buffalo, if that matters. But look at the total, 37.5. Even action on the money, or even money on the action there. You got 2-6. You got 4-3. Both teams not really good records where they're going to be. Chicago on the road and Buffalo at home. So, I mean, Chicago easily, Token, is the better team. But I feel like Chicago's also a team that can play down the competition.
Yeah, you're right about that.
I feel like your whole division might be that.
Yeah, for sure. As everybody knows, Allen's out. And update on the street is Anderson's going to be out too. So
Okay.
I don't know. I think with that last second change, Bears aren't going to be prepared for it. They'll give up a few chunks. They'll give up a few yards here and there. Both punters are out, I believe, too. I know Spike's thinking about that. Give me the under.
Oh, you done? Okay.
Yeah, give me the under. I'll stick with that
Under
one
37.
trend that I stated earlier.
Well, and what was that again?
The
The spread.
20 out of the last 22 games with spreads 8 or more have went under.
Okay.
So I'll go with that on this one. I think Buffalo does cover, but no faith in them.
Yeah, well,
Just make one pick.
Yeah,
Just make one.
under 37.5, goddammit.
Just make one pick.
I agree with Token that you shouldn't have faith in Buffalo. I know that they went into Minnesota and they curb stomped the Vikings, but that was with Allen, and that was with a team that actually thought they could win. Allen went down, Anderson went down, Nathan Peterman is back in, a man who once threw 2 interceptions.
How about that, huh?
Once threw 2 interceptions and raised his quarterback average. This is a game where they pointed this out during the Golden Knights game. The Sabres scored 9 goals tonight, and that was more points than what the Bills were able to put up against the Patriots. This is a spot where I expect Buffalo to be absolutely embarrassed, and for the internet to start saying that Alabama could beat the Buffalo Bills on a neutral site. So I'm taking Chicago. This is actually Chicago minus 10.5 with such a gigantic goddamn spread. I'm actually making it a lock of the week.
Oh, wow. You know what Buffalo's trending for this year? How many touchdowns?
6?
That is correct.
I thought I had read that, yeah.
Yeah. 6 touchdowns.
Was it you that told me that Gurley had scored more points than them?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's impressive. I don't know what to take in this spot because, you're right. I can't trust Buffalo to put points on the board. But at the same time, I feel like I can't trust this Chicago team on the road in an environment that, as much as Buffalo sucks, they still love their Bills.
That is true. That Bills Mafia is loud, like crazy loud at those games.
And they tend to throw dildos on the field, only in Patriots games. But maybe they might extend that to all season because it's the only fun they really get to have at the stadium.
Sounds like Happy Gilmore is making an appearance there.
My favorite part is I wasn't keeping track of the story, but the story was being kept track of by national radio outlets. And the amount of resources that the city of Buffalo used to track down the guy who threw a dildo onto the field was just baffling to me. So,
Tax money at work.
I'm taking the biggest spread of the week, and I'm taking the dog. I'm going back to my roots. Buffalo 10.5. I really believe this is the game that's like 9-6 or something like that. I really think this. You were talking about Miami and the Jets. I feel like this is the game where I'm hoping from a fantasy perspective that Jordan Howard and the Chicago defense are monsters, but the Chicago defense has regressed to the mean, and Jordan Howard just seems to get one carry every other Thursday. So.
You're expecting Nathan Peterman to be able to drive the Bills down the field twice to get close enough to kick field
I'm expecting
goals.
LaShawn McCoy and Chris Ivory to start throwing the ball. I want to believe in Nathan Peterman. I really do, Nathan. Come on, buddy. Just give me one. I don't really care how your career ends up. Just give me this cover right here. 10.5 points. You're the biggest dog of the week. So nobody circles the wagons like Nathan Peterman. So give me the Buffalo Bills. All right, Tampa Bay and Carolina. I've been stressing all minute on this one. I've been stressing all minute this week on this one. You got a 5-2 Carolina Panthers. All right.
I think we lost Spike.
We lost Spike for temporarily. So Carolina Panthers are home hosting the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Why did I find that so goddamn funny?
And it's a 6.5 point spread in favor of the Panthers. Fitzmagic is back, boys. Fitzmagic is back. I pined for 2 weeks that Fitzmagic should be the starter here, so he needs to prove me right. He's a dog on the road. He has a chance to get Tampa Bay back to 4-4 at 500 in a division where, even though 3-4 doesn't sound great, they could still
not horrible.
Yeah, they could still catch Carolina, and I think Carolina's in a prime wild card spot. Can they catch the Saints? Maybe. The only thing that's going for the Tampa Bay is that they have beat them already on the road.
Yeah,
the Saints.
That for sure name helps.
So you got to start beating the division opponents, and Tampa Bay is going to start this week. I am going to start this game and say, give me Fitzmagic, give me Tampa Bay money line.
Whoa! Wow! Daring.
Yeah, and this is a game where I like Fitzmagic for like a game or two, and then he has a stinker, and then he's good for a game or two, and then he has a stinker. So I think this is going to be one of his good games. I'm actually not on money line. I'm not with you on that, but I am with you on Tampa Bay. I think this is a team that keeps it close. I think Fitzpatrick can move them down the field. They can get points. I like this spot for Tampa Bay quite a bit. I'm taking the plus the 6.5 in this one.
Yeah, for those who are listening and want to know what the money line is currently, it's plus 240. So
Ship it.
yeah, I'm not that daring, but I love Tampa Bay in the spot. I think they easily cover, if not even have a shot to win. So
I would. Oh, are you?
Tampa Bay plus 6.5 is my pick.
I would like to make a proposal, if it pleases the court.
All right.
I would like to add a bonus point to this one if I can correctly guess the number of points Tampa Bay will score.
I'm down with that.
I'll allow it.
26.
You went a little lower than I thought you were going to say.
I think it's going to be 26-21. Tampa Bay wins, but my pick is only based on Tampa Bay's points.
So 26 bonus point.
Right on. Cool.
Yeah.
Please the court.
Yep.
Got it.
All right. So we are all on Tampa Bay on that side.
Whoops. What happened there? Okay, that's fine.
Good to go.
Yeah, just Microsoft Excel's being weird, but
Right on.
we're good.
All right. So let's move on to Atlanta at Washington. Tough Atlanta team. Doesn't play as well on the road as they do at home. They are 0-2 on the road, 0-2 against the spread. You have a Washington team, 5-2 overall record, 3-1 at home, 5-2 against the spread, 3-1 at home against the spread. Even action on both sides with Washington a 2-point favorite. Over/under total is 48 at this spot. This one is a tough one. It's you really believe Atlanta can trend upwards, but at the same time, they've shown time and time again when they walk out of that dome, they're not the same team. And so you've got Atlanta, you got Washington, you got a 2-point spread, 48.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the same thing that you are with Atlanta on the road. Just doesn't look great. Washington, I think they're starting to get momentum. I think they're starting to really carry themselves well. And now that they know that they're leading the NFC East, that they're going to be able to start applying pressure by beating weaker teams. And I think Atlanta is the weaker team. I'm actually taking Washington. I'm not crazy about the -2, though, so I'm going to chicken out a little bit and take Washington money line in this spot.
Fair enough. Yeah, I think Washington, especially against the conference, is very, very strong, especially at home. This is going to be my... This is going to be my lock of the week. Give me Washington even minus the 2 points.
Heyo.
Book it.
Book it, Dano. Funny, we're both going to have a lock in this pick. However, I am going to lock up the over. I think I'm not quite sure who wins this game. I still probably one of the more irrational believers in Atlanta Falcon football. I do believe they can put up some points, and I believe both of these teams, Washington when they have to, that's what I kind of like about the Washington Redskins right now, is when they have to put up points, they're able to, and when they have to play defense, they're able to do that as well. I think this game falls somewhere in the mid-50s, 28-27, kind of 30-27 kind of range. Not sure who wins. I really am wanting to see Atlanta win. Not sure why, really, I feel that way right now, but I don't know why I feel like Atlanta might squeak this game out at home and prove a lot of doubters wrong. But nevertheless, I'm going to lock up the 48. I'm going to lock up the over in that spot. And we're all going to be a little bit on the different side there. That's a big swing for you. If Washington covers and it stays under, you get a huge swing.
Oh, yeah. No, that's going to be great for me.
Yeah, you might get out of the gutter.
Yeah.
You might be over par.
If Washington wins but
or
doesn't cover, you mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because he's got Washington minus the 2.
Yeah, I took Washington.
So I need
Washington with a 1-point victory.
Yeah, I need like a
17-16.
Yeah,
or
15,
or
14.
2 even.
Yeah, you would push, but you push on a lock. If you lose your lock, he swings 3 points.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
Huh. Wow. Yeah, you're right. We should make a side bet if he gets out of over zero tomorrow.
It could be a possibility, yeah.
You got what, -1?
-1?
I'm at -1 right now, yeah.
All right, let's hear the rest of your picks, and then we'll talk a little bit.
We make a side bet if he gets over 0 or not.
Or what our predictions will be for his picks.
Yeah, exactly. Houston at Denver. This is the Demaryius Thomas game, and you have not given a chance to voice your opinion on this. Do you believe Demaryius Thomas will be a factor for the Houston Texans. We talked about this in the weekday podcast. But.
No, and I never like receivers going to a new team in their first game. They just never seem to do much. I mean, they're usually out there as a decoy. Sometimes they can run, short slants, crossing routes, things like that, but they're not going to be able to stretch the field. They're not going to have the timing down to do those very specific types of routes. I don't think that he's a big factor in this game.
Right on. And the thing is he also, the thing that surprises me is he's also going to bring the Denver playbook with him to Houston as well. And the line right now currently in Denver is -1.
Stupidest line of the week.
Uh-oh.
Absolutely.
Hot take alert.
Monumentally stupid.
Live line currently total is 46. I'm just gonna back away and let you go.
Last 5 games, Houston is 5-0, Denver is 1-4. I don't care about the fact that this game is in Denver. Denver is trending the wrong way against a team that is probably, aside from the Rams, the hottest in the NFL right now. So Houston being a 1-point dog in this spot just baffles me. I have no idea how this line was determined. I could see if it had moved to that because all the public money came in on one side and they needed to adjust it, but it opened at -1 and it
hasn't moved, yeah.
So I cannot figure this out. If I hadn't already used my lock, this would have been my lock, but I'm taking Houston plus the 1 because why the fuck wouldn't I?
Yeah, the only way I could see Denver winning this game is if they're coached by Randy Marsh from South Park and they put Sarkis the ball.
I know the episode.
I don't know South Park, so I never watched South Park. I mean, I'm not knocking anybody who does. I never got into it.
It's just their spin on football with their health issues and all that. Yeah, give me Houston money line even. Fuck it. Doesn't scare me.
All right, I'm fading you two knuckleheads. I think Denver at home does matter, and I think Houston is a team that, with the exception of the Jaguar game, even when they go on the road, they're not a dominant franchise this year. Deshaun Watson is trending upward right now. He's playing better. Still don't have a running game, which I think is what you need in Denver. I think they should have taken a stab at Le'Veon Bell. Not saying that they did, and I don't know what they offered, if anybody offered anything. But they still don't have much of a running game. Lamar Miller is not anything to really get nervous about. I am going to take Denver. Yeah, fuck it, -1. I mean, money line -1, whatever it is, it's good with me. A point is really irrelevant at that, unless there's a tie. Actually, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna shrink my sack a little bit and just take Denver money line. I'll give the point back. I also have. Well, no, we'll do them at the end of the show. I was say my bold prediction will be centered around this game as well too. So, all right, let's continue on. And a game that actually I would say the most research we have done this week is us texting back and forth about this game, listening to shit on the radio.
Yeah, because we both heard the same stat on 2 different shows, national shows.
That is true. We have the LA Chargers at the Seattle Seahawks. LA coming off of a bye because they played in London 2 weeks prior. I am currently now really just, and it's maybe not their fault because they didn't do anything wrong, even though they did something wrong. I'm bitter towards LA because of that Cleveland Browns first half game where the official got fired. So I've officially been bitter towards LA, even though it's not their fault. They got away with a false start. Nevertheless, this is a wild one. Seattle opened up as a 2-point favorite at home. They are now currently a half-point dog. That doesn't make sense to me. Are we betting on this half point?
I was going to say I don't think
I've never seen that.
I've never seen a line that ended at half a point. It's usually just a pick 'em.
Yeah, usually a pick 'em or it goes to 1.
Yeah, so it's a very.
So we just want to make this a pick 'em, or
we can make it a pick 'em. Yeah,
I've just never seen that before.
Yeah.
Total 48 in this spot. 5-2 Chargers obviously have to win to keep pace with the Chiefs if they even have a shot in that keeping pace because they are down 3 games or no. They're 7-1, 5-2. They're down 2.5 games because they've lost already to the Chiefs.
Game and a half, actually.
7-1, 5-2.
I think they're down 2.5 games, right?
They have to win total by 2 game and a half.
They have to win a game. They're down a game. No, 1.5 games.
1.5 games.
Because no, the 5-2, 6-2, 7-2. and Kansas City has to take a bye. I think it's 2.5 games. Am I right or wrong? Are you wafting a fart?
It looks like it.
No, I was trying to tell you to move on. That's why my hands moving
is
like
that
that.
And nevertheless, it's a pick'em. So
Yeah, we'll make it a pick'em. That's fine with me.
Stinky McJeans over there.
Yeah, so the stat that we heard that we were kind of fascinated about is that Russell Wilson has never lost to an AFC opponent at home. But it's a small
But it's
sample
only 4
size.
games.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's only 4 games, so I don't really
But it is
know that
4
that
games
matters.
against big opponents.
Yeah, and those were typically Seattle teams that had a much better defense than what we've seen out of Seattle's defense this year. And I like what I've been seeing out of Phillip Rivers, even though I hate giving this guy credit. He has been quietly having a really phenomenal year this year. I'm actually making this my blind bet of the week because this is one of those games where I just don't know how it's going to end up. I am taking the Chargers as the pick'em.
Right on.
Fair enough. It's hard to play in Seattle, even with a crappy Seattle team.
They're not crappy.
Well, yeah, I mean,
They're not crappy. You're crappy.
down from the last few years of production and all that. The crowd's gotten into it even more, though, so give me Seattle.
Yeah, Melvin Gordon's questionable right now. They're saying he's trending towards probable. Without him, I don't trust LA in this environment. With him, I'm not sure I even still really feel that comfortable. I'm going to say Russell Wilson continues the trend. He goes to 5-0 against AFC opponents, and Seattle beats the Chargers by about 1 to 3 points, maybe even a late field goal by Janikowski. You always got to love Janikowski lining up there for actual crucial NFL moments. That never can go well, but sometimes it does. And I think Seattle wins as well, so I'll take Seattle pick'em, and I'll move on with that one because that's I think it's going to be a fun game of the late slate because you got Houston and Denver, you got LA and Seattle, and you got the Rams in New Orleans, which obviously is the game of the week. That's not the night game, but LA Seattle will be sneaky good. I think the Red Zone channel. Have you watched the Red Zone channel, or do you watch the game?
No, I've been watching the Red Zone channel more and more, especially when the Patriots aren't on.
I don't know. Maybe it was I just noticed it last week. Like last week, you had Green Bay and the Rams, right? That was the game of the week.
Yeah.
And I had Red Zone on one and that game on the other. And I found Red Zone legitimately was stuck on Cardinals 49ers for the majority of it. I'm like, what are y'all doing? If the Cardinals and 49ers are not in the red zone, get that shit the fuck off the screen. I mean, are you contractually obligated to show this or something, or are they trying
It might be locally or something.
But it's Red Zone channel. I mean,
it's supposed to be national.
It's supposed to be a national thing. My only thought process is they wanted you to change the channel to the Green Bay game. I don't know. I don't know what DirecTV's mindset was, is to drive the ratings to the one game by putting the shitbox game of the week on Red Zone. I don't know. I just noticed it. I'm like, these guys are on the 50, and the Rams have the ball. What would I rather watch if I'm watching the Red Zone channel? I'd rather watch the Rams have the ball no matter where they are. So that was just a weird observation I noticed about the NFL Red Zone, DirecTV Red Zone channel. So, nevertheless, all right, game of the week that again is not the Sunday night game. We have the Rams traveling to New Orleans to face a 6-1 New Orleans team trying to knock off the only undefeated team left in the NFL. The Rams had a sweat last week, but they got through it. And thanks to Todd Gurley, I was able to cover my 8 because he don't care about your fantasy team or Vegas.
No, he cares about winning the game and what's best to win the game, and that was the right move at that spot.
Did I tell you the tweet he put out last Sunday? And somebody was like, you cost me, or they were like, hey, Todd Gurley costs a lot of fantasy owners and sports bettors. And he retweeted or quoted the tweet and said, what was the spread? Question mark.
Yeah.
I think he knew.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Nevertheless, this spread has actually moved. New Orleans, in some spots, not here on covers. New Orleans actually opened up as a 1-point favorite in a lot of spots. Here on covers, they opened up as a 1-point dog. The Rams are actually a 2-point road favorite as we sit here and do the podcast. The over-under is 57.5. It's back down to exactly where you nailed it.
Boom!
So get the bonus points out for Spike. That still only puts him at 1 under par.
Hey, listen, I'll take any point that I can get. However, they have to be earned, unless it means I have to work down at the Ducks.
That's true. All right, well, since you nailed the total, which is currently live at 57.5, you get to go first.
So, in the last 4 games, the Rams have won by 2 points, by 3 points, by a shit ton, and by 2 points. So, and in those 4 games, it was the Seahawks, the Broncos, and the Packers. The Packers should be better than they are, but I think they're down this year. We'll get into that in the next game that we're going to talk about. But against the Broncos and the Seahawks, those are 2 teams that the Rams should have blown out. I am actually starting to worry about the Rams. I think this is the spot where they go down. I am taking New Orleans plus the 2 in this spot, but when I go to the window, I might actually take the Saints' money line in this one. I think the Saints have a very good shot of winning this game outright.
Yeah, fair enough. It's hard always to go in the Superdome and produce against the Saints team, even on down years. And yeah, I like the Saints in this spot too. I'm going to put it as my blind bet, though.
Shit, that was mine too. Yeah,
I could see the Rams winning by a missed extra point or a missed field goal at the end by 1 point or something. But
for me, I don't feel like you said, like the Rams. Not that they're getting exposed. They're not as dynamic of an offense as you'd like to give them credit for. They do play the 49ers and the Cardinals in their division, so they do get to look good for some weeks. I'm not sure away from the Coliseum that they're as dominant as a team. Don't get me wrong. I'm not discrediting 8-0. 8-0 is 8-0 in the NFL.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
But I think right now, firing on all cylinders, I think they have Sean McVay's dad at coach, basically, and Sean Payton. They have the same characteristics. And I think they have Jared Goff and Drew Brees. I think Jared Goff is a young mold of Drew Brees. And while Drew Brees is a little bit down, and I think we talked about that at the beginning of the season, how he would take a step backwards, him taking a step backwards has led to Kamara being the focal point of this offense. Taysom Hill. I mean, they have so many weapons. And I just believe that the Saints are a better football team right now. So I am going to also use my blind bet, and I want to just take the money line. But since you have taken the 2 points, I need to keep up. So I need to wash this game out with you, and make it a consensus pick. My blind bet: New Orleans plus 2. So all that build up, and I basically just made this game a complete waste for our bet.
Yeah, well, that's unfortunate. But
how are we on consensus pick this year so far?
Not good.
We are 1-3 on consensus pick,
yeah.
which actually no, that sucks for me because I lose a point, and if New Orleans doesn't, then
If New Orleans does cover, we both get a point.
I'm annoyed.
Time to play the game.
Fuck.
You guys want to throw another little side nugget on there?
All right.
Just because that game is so valuable to the week's slate. Mm-hmm. What do you guys think? Todd Gurley total yards 88.5.
Total both rushing and receiving, or
that is what total yards means.
Just confirming. Over, under. I'd take the over.
Yeah, I'd have to take the over too.
All right, I'll take the under. Give me the point.
All right.
All right, so that'll be our fun since since it's not a consensus, or since it is a consensus on our actual pick. I'll get a little extra point there, so that'll be fun. All right, let's move on to the juggernaut that is Sunday Night Football, and that is the New England Patriots, a 5.5-point current line favorite, and the Green Bay Packers. You have 6-2, which is 4-0 at home, versus 3-3, which is 0-3 on the road. Right now, the line currently total 56.5. This is a fun one. I mean, you can't obviously count Aaron Rodgers out in a spot here, but it does seem like you said, Green Bay is just not that good this year.
Yeah, and I know we disagreed about this last week, but I said that Green Bay looks like the worst team in the NFC North just based on the eye test. And this line really perplexes me. I think
that changes week to week, but go ahead.
Yeah, I know Denver I called the stupidest line of the week. This one I really legitimately can't figure out because it opened New England 6.5-point favorite. Green Bay then traded away Ty Montgomery and HaHa Clinton Dix, and now it's moved to a New England 5.5-point favorite. So Green Bay trading away 2 starters somehow gives them an extra point.
Montgomery was a third-string running back.
I mean, he
Yeah,
was
he
still
was.
something. They don't have a running game anyway.
He was 6% of
And that's
snaps.
the thing. They don't have a running game, and he was the third string of that no running game.
So,
the HaHa Clinton Dix move is big, yeah.
The whole thing is just bizarre to me. But I in this spot, I don't see how New England wins this game by less than 10 points. I'm taking New England minus 5.5 to the shock of absolutely nobody.
I believe that line movement is because of number 12 and last week's trend.
Which number 12?
The green number 12.
There you go.
Because I believe what was his record? 5-0 against the spread anytime he was a 6-point dog or more.
Yeah.
And he covered last week. So I think when New England opened up as a 6-point favorite, everybody fired on it because, hey, that's the trend.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I think New England. The only reason I think this is because at first glance I was like, oh, give me Green Bay, give me Aaron Rodgers. I'm fading myself. I'm fading my initial thought process because we've done no research on these picks. My initial gut reaction was Green Bay plus 5.5. So I'm going to fade that because usually I tend to try to, before I do analytics or research a game, my gut reaction is usually wrong. And that's usually where public money and square money goes. Gut reaction. Bang. Make the bet.
There's my gut reaction.
So speaking of gut reactions, as Token Tony floods the room with ghost pepper farts.
God, how old are we?
I don't know.
I am 12.
You're super old.
It's written in green crayon.
I'm a lot older than you two. I know that.
How old are you, Spike?
I'm 39.
Good
Oh,
God.
okay.
Yeah.
How old are you?
29.
Good. I don't fall right in the middle. I fall closer to him.
Yeah.
Token Tony, you have the last pick in this Sunday night matchup.
Fucking millennials.
Making a freaking...
What is what's the cutoff for millennial? Me?
86. Oh, is it 82?
U.S. Census Bureau says 82 to
2000?
2000. The guy who coined the term said 1980. So it depends on who you're listening to. But the Census Bureau, the only other generation the Census Bureau ever defined was baby boomers. So the fact that they actually came out and said millennials are 82 to 2000, people are taking that pretty seriously.
Cool.
But that's you too, right? Or are you 79?
I'm 79. I'm Gen X.
Yeah.
Oh,
You look like something that came out of a Gen X.
so
D-Gen X.
So back to the Sunday night game.
No, I'm not done with it. I'm just kidding.
So back to the Sunday night game for real. Yeah, Packers are 4-1-1 against the spread in the last 6 meetings. I really like the over, but that's not my pick. I don't think Rodgers puts up that many points. I don't honestly see it. Give me New England minus the points.
So we just wiped this game out too. The two biggest game of the weeks, we just wiped them
I
out.
wanted to talk myself into the over, and I just don't see Rodgers being able to produce offensively. I see New England trying to shut them down when they can, maybe give up a field goal here or there if Crosby can kick one.
All right, fine. Here's another chance for us to get a bonus point. I'll make a wager here, since we just wiped out the two biggest games on the slate. Aaron Rodgers, total passing yards. You have to make a guess, and you have to be plus or minus 3 to get a point.
Ooh.
You can start.
248.
I will say 303.
I'll say 294.
All right.
So one of us, or none of us, could get a point, but
Yeah.
we're going to have another strat. I just feel like we should get something for the two biggest games of the week. So,
Yeah. No, I like that idea.
Yeah.
all right, we got a couple minutes here. Let's talk about Dallas and Tennessee, a Monday night game that a lot of people probably feel is very boring, but I think we're going to see the debut of Amari Cooper here, so that kind of excites me. You got 2, 3, and 4 teams. Dallas is undefeated at home. They are a 4-point favorite. The line is low, 40.5 the total, and this is another one I've been sweating over this for a good solid 45 seconds. Don't really know where to go, so I'm going to listen to your all's analysis, and I'm going to make my picks squarely based on what you tell me.
Fair enough.
So if I were going to go with public money, I don't think that would do me much good.
Since it's 50-50.
Exactly 50-50.
Flip a coin.
Same with Green Bay and New England, too.
This is just such a weird game because these are probably the two teams I have paid attention to the least this season, so I don't really know what to make of this line. I kind of like what I've seen out of the Cowboys in the last couple of games, even though they lost to the Texans and to the Redskins. They did absolutely fucking curb stomp Jacksonville. So that's been all right. Tennessee, I don't know. I mean, they're just, they put up a 9 spot against Jacksonville, the 12 against Buffalo, shut out against the Ravens. I mean, I don't see Tennessee being able to score a ton. I'm kind of flip-flopping between Dallas minus the 4 and the total. I think I'm just going to take Dallas money line in this spot, just to kind of keep it simple, and because I'm kind of this train of thought has no caboose, as they say. So, Token, take it away.
Do I already have my lock of the week or no?
Yeah, you have a lock.
All right, good, because I didn't want to use the lock on this one. I was on the same thinking train as you. I like the under in this. I don't think Dallas puts up ridiculous amount of points, but I don't see Tennessee scoring many either. I see like a 27-14 kind of game. Give me the under. Or a little less than that.
Wait a second, what?
Give me the under, I don't care.
27-4. I see 41 points scored. Give me the under 40.
40 and a half.
Oh, my bad. Give me 40 and a half. Still not good enough. I actually am with you. I see a very low-scoring game in this spot, too. I feel like it's, like 48-12. So, initial thought process was Dallas minus the 4. So, I think Dallas will win the game, but I'll take the 4 points with Tennessee. I think it's a very close game. Dallas wins. Maher kicks a go-ahead field goal to win by 3 and not cover. I think this game actually will finish, the closing line will finish 3.5 in Dallas. A lot of people will get fucked by the hook.
Fair enough.
All right, gentlemen, we've got about 6 minutes here left in the podcast. It is bold prediction time, and this is good for 2 points or no points. So I hope you've taken the rest of this podcast from when we talked in the beginning to formulate a bold prediction, and it has to be approved by the other 2 members of the commission. So, Token, you're first.
Dalvin Cook plays enough for Minnesota and gets hurt by halftime.
Dalvin Cook, I don't know what plays enough means, but Dalvin Cook hurt again by halftime?
Yeah.
Okay, I can accept that.
Okay, that works.
Spike?
So, my question is, do I have to keep it to one certain player, or can I keep it to a position?
You can make a prediction, and we will determine. Because it depends on what your prediction is.
Right, yeah.
If you're like, quarterbacks are going to play today.
No, that's fair. I will say we will see a week where a quarterback in this league finishes the game with under 100 yards and doesn't get hurt.
Plays a full game.
Plays a full game with under 100 passing yards and isn't hurt.
I'll accept that.
He's going with Nathan Peterman.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean,
that may be your only guy.
Mariota, maybe.
Mariota, Trubisky, yeah, you never know. Darnold.
Osweiler, yeah.
Baker Mayfield. Okay.
Flacco.
Fair enough. I'll accept that. You accept that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
One quarterback plays an entire game and goes under 100 passing yards. Fair enough. All right, I am going to single in on one quarterback, and it is the Denver quarterback, Case Keenum, who is Tony Johnson's favorite player in the NFL.
A fake token.
He has gone the entire season, every game, he's thrown an interception. I believe he does not throw an interception this Sunday.
Ooh, wow.
Against Houston.
Ooh.
I believe he bucks the trend and goes pickless, unless he picks his nose on the sideline.
That could be a possibility.
Do you accept? Because if not, I have another one.
I accept.
I think I can accept that. I don't know that I agree with it.
I don't need you to agree with it.
I get that.
I think that's a good bold prediction. Huh?
Yeah. No, I like that. All right. Yeah,
All right.
We'll let you keep that one.
Rock and roll, rock and roll. All right, those are our picks. The 3 blind mice this week of the Vegas Squares podcast. I still think we've got some still think we got some good analysis out based on the fact that we've looked at it for a whole 51 minutes. Hell, that's more than most D-Gens do.
That's true.
Especially when they're playing Chase, right? All right, well, I want to thank the sponsors, VGK Pop Sockets, ChaiPoker.com, and, of course, 12-Ounce Sports Radio. We are on 12-Ounce Sports Radio 4 times a week. We are on Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern, Thursdays 7 p.m. Eastern, Saturdays at 11 a.m. Eastern, and obviously you're listening to our NFL show here on Sundays at 10 a.m. Eastern. Let's shout out Chai Poker, because I know they got a charity tournament coming up.
Actually, he spoke to me earlier and said he's trying to come on air and make a little promo for it. So,
oh, right on. That would be cool. Maybe we can ship it over to the 12-ounce guys, and they can roll the promo as well.
Sweet. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I spoke to him today, too. He was in playing poker where I was, and he was in the cash game. I was in the tournament. But, yeah, he was talking about how he wanted to come on, promote the tournament that they have coming up, and actually give people enough lead time so that they can get to the tournament.
Absolutely. Especially if you're coming to Vegas around that time. The tournament is December 1st at the South Point Hotel and Casino. Mm-hmm. It is a charity poker event for Chai Poker Charities, this one benefits the Boys and Girls Clubs of Southern Nevada. They are creating a scholarship fund with the money raised. Last one, I remember, if it's going to be the same, I believe it will be. Last one had Grimaldi's Pizza, which you can't go wrong.
Yeah.
It had raffle and door prizes before the tournament and in the first break. It is a 120 plus 10, so $130 buy-in. And I believe half of that goes to the Boys and Girls Club Charities of Central Nevada. Or excuse me, I always say Southern Nevada, pardon me. I always want to say Central Florida, and then I say Central Nevada. So,
anywho. And I do believe that Aaron is the defending champion.
I will be there December 1st to defend my title. I will be there on time. Last one I was late. I think I showed up in level 2.
Yeah,
which may or may not have been advantageous to me.
And you were also super drunk.
Yeah, it didn't take long. I think I was piss drunk by level 3. I had a nurse just IVing it right into my arm. So,
yeah.
Yes, I will be there to defend my title. We will have bounties on all 3 of our heads.
Hey.
However, there is a stipulation. You have to listen to the show. If you knock us out of the tournament and you say Vegas Squares Podcast, you will get a $20 gift card. What did we say it was? $20 just Visa gift card?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
A $20 Visa gift card.
Either that or you could have an option. You could roll that into a futures bet by picking a number 1 through 32 or 30 or whatever. No, not good with that.
I get what you're saying, but all the seasons have started, so picking a number doesn't really work. I see what you're saying.
It could work for hockey or something.
Yeah, but you know what? They're going to knock us out. We're going to get a $20 futures bet, and it's going to be on the Bills. Like Spycast.
Yeah, thanks for that, by the way. Also, this is news
could
to
be
me
worse
about
be the Raiders.
About having
you got a bounty on your head.
Bounties, yeah.
But I mean, for all of our listener out there, he's got to be the one person to knock you out.
Now, what happens if we knock one of ourselves out? Do we get the gift card?
No, you become a $40 bounty. And if I knock you both out, you become a $60 bounty.
All right.
I'm sorry, when I knock you both out, I become a $60 bounty.
Well, if it's anything like last time, I'll just bluff away all my chips at level 1 and then have to fucking tread water for 3.5 levels.
Yeah, there you go. Well, you can rebuy.
Yeah.
I'm too cheap for that.
Fair enough.
Maybe I'll use the money that I won for you on Alabama today.
No, I'll be collecting that. I got a metal bat in the other room. I can break some knees. Anyways, once again, check out. We'll have more information, and we'll have Ben from Chai Poker on as well. Very near in the future here before the tournament. Just one more time, I want to thank the sponsors: VGK Pop Sockets, 12-Ounce Sports Radio, and ChaiPoker.com. And that is it for us for the NFL Podcast Picks and Chatter edition. For Spike, for Token Tony, I am Aaron. We hope that you do well, whether you tail us or fade us. The 3 blind mice, we are out.